There are not many tanks available in World of Tanks Blitz that feature gun depression, turret armor, and an autoloader. And the reason is very simple. An autoloader's job is to deal damage fast and then go back in the cover and reload the clip. And normally, these types of tanks feature not great armor because of the fact that when they do poke, in my opinion, they should rightfully be punished because that's the whole point of the tank is to deal damage fast. So you wouldn't want them to have a lot of armor in sakes of balance. However, the Emil 1 is a Swedish Tier 8 Tech Tree Heavy, and it is one of the only autoloaders in the game that features incredible turret armor, great gun depression, and a very nasty clip dealing 960 damage on average in a matter of 6 seconds from the first shell. It is, quite simply put, one of the best Tier 8s in the game. It is even better, at least in my opinion, than the Emil 1951. Its gun may not be better than the Emil 1951, nor is the mobility, but the fact that this vehicle features just better turret armor and still the same type of gun is pretty insane when you think about it. So, the enemy team only has one tank destroyer. That is an AT-15. So, at the beginning of this game, we shouldn't have to worry about anything. We're going to get one shell into the T-29, two shells into the T-29, and just like that, we have dealt 900 damage. A perfect example of how we have blocked 540 damage and already been able to bean on an enemy opponent. And because we're an autoloader, we just back up. That's all you do. This is the life of an autoloader. This is why the Emil is kind of nutty. So we got 4 more seconds left. Let's start driving up the hill because this tank's not the fastest. I mean, you do need time to aim it on our opponent. So there's the Black Prince. That shell did not go where I wanted it to, but you know what? We still penned it. There's 2 shells into the Black Prince, and unfortunately, that one shell did not hit him, but we're up to 1,500 damage already. Again, we have bled absolutely nothing because this is the life of an Emil 1. On a map like Dead Rail, you are absolutely unpushable, and this is why driving any type of hull-down tank frontline on Dead Rail is just, it's nasty. So let's reload again. We do have that AT in the back, but honestly, I could really care less about that player right now. I'm going to go for this IS-3. There's 1 shell into the IS, 2 shells into the IS. That is a T-77 shooting me. I don't want to be shot by that, so let's just shoot him with my last shell. I was a little worried that T-77 might try to shoot us, so I figured the moment we got hit for 463, by the way, which is an absolutely massive roll, I thought I would start focusing him. So 8 more seconds left. We'll have our shells once again, and as you can see, we're still basically completely untouched. All right, let's reload, and let's aim it on the T-77 for now. Here we are, and 1 bonk into his vehicle, and 2 bonks into his vehicle, and 3. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but I'll take advantage of it. Just like that, we have now an additional 900 damage on our pellet, and we're sitting at 3,500 damage. Something that is good about the EU server is if you're in a tank like the Emil 1, and people love to camp on EU, this is a great tank, because of the fact that when people camp like this, they can't pen me, and I can literally just sit here completely untouched and farm them. So there's a second shell into the IS-3 from the... Actually, no, it's not a second. We've hit him more than 2 times at this point, but let's just pen him for the third. Shell missed, but look at that. 380 and a 400 bounce there. So we've already blocked 1,500 damage at this point, and I know that I'm not going to be able to really get any more damage out over there, so we're going to make our way over towards the T-34-100, and we're going to see if I can get any shots into this player. But I think we're already up to 4,000 damage at this point, which is pretty insane when you think about it, and we're just going to go over here. I'm not really sure what this T-34-100 is doing. Looks like the player wants to kill my T-34-1, but is struggling. Now, we did get spotted, interestingly enough, it looks like, through the rails, so let's keep on going this way. You can see the Emil is not the fastest tank. It's quite slow, but you don't really need speed in this tank to do well. That was an unfortunate bounce. I'm going to try and reload my clip. I feel like by the time we get there, I should have another couple shells loaded anyway. My team is really far away as it is, so let's reload here. Well, maybe not. I'm actually surprised, but this T-34-100 is just sending it. Little bit of a love tap there for 24. That's not much, but let's reload. 3, 2, 1, and there's 1 bonk into the T-34-100, and I guess it would have been more beneficial if I actually didn't reload my clip, but at the same time, I really didn't expect that player to just YOLO it towards that guy. But not a bad game at all. We came out with a victory, and let's see just how much damage we were able to rack up. 4,800 damage. We blocked 1,760 and got penned a total of 1 time. And the craziest part, this wasn't even an ace. It is a perfect example of the ridiculous capabilities that the Emil 1 features and and why it's such a good tank. So let's do one more battle, and let's see if we can keep it up. I don't know if we're going to get a game that good, but we still should be able to do a pretty solid battle. Once again, we're on another actually very solid map for haul down capabilities, this time on Canyon. And what do we have up against us? Well, another pretty solid matchup, tier 8s. We got a AMX 5100, which is just my take without armor, an IS-3, some Avente. Alright, I mean, the Semovente is strong. That vehicle features 11 degrees of gun depression. If it is running the 400 alpha gun, it's going to be way deadly, because I think it can go right through our turret armor, but I guess we'll find out. I'm just going to make my way, once again, towards B Hill Haul Down. The Emil 1 does feature super speed boost if you want to run it, but since I'm on my free-to-play account, I try to save credits, and I guarantee if I was running super speed boost on this tank, I would use it every battle, which would just eat like a solid 6,000 credits away. So I think it's smarter for at least free-to-play players to not use super speed boost unless you really need it. I run it on my Kron, but as I said, I do not run it on my Emil 1. So let's make our way up the hill, which we have finally done. We can see the enemy is all off to the side, and there's one shell into the AMX, one bounce on the Semovente, and... oh, there you go. One pen. Alright, well, not too bad. We've dealt 600 damage already. Once again, a fantastic example how I barely expose my tank, I don't bleed anything, and we just get free damage. Now, my that's not T-77, my T-32. Alright, well, my T-32 is going to be dead, so that's not good. I'm going to reload here, just a couple more seconds. I am going to struggle to pen this guy unless we load premium. So there's one pen into the Semovente. Actually can't pen him here as of right now. Let's aim it on his... we're going to have to shoot him in the upper plate. There's a second pen into his upper plate, and... that's a rip. Well, if I'm looking at what's going on right now, the best decision I can make is to leave. My team is really struggling to deal with two tanks. Not even two. They're struggling to deal with one tank. So, hopefully they can kill that AMX, because obviously behind us is the bigger threat, like this. So, right now, I'm going to be very careful. There's one pen into the VK100, and two pens into the VK100, and... well, I was hopefully going to say 3 pens, but unfortunately I am very, very, sleep distraught today, so if I'm slurring my words a bit, or I am, calling tanks the wrong name, I'm just a little sleep tight, but we're doing fine either way. Looks like that Semovente is running the 400 alpha gun, and yes, my assumption is correct. There is one, there is two, and are we going to get 3 low rolls? Hey, we got an average roll for the third one. Alright, not too bad. We've already dealt 2,800 damage, I should point that out. That Semovente had no chance of cutting through my turret again. Look at that. I mean, we have bled 0 health, and yet we have dealt 3,000 damage. You can start to see why I call the Emil 1 just one of the best tier 8s in the game. It really is. Like, the DPM is not great, I'll be honest. You sit here for a while and you reload and you reload and you reload, but once again we just chill here. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3 shots into the enemy IS-3. We are up to 3,800 damage now. For any of you wondering why I did not shoot the Semovente to kill him, quite simply, I like damage. So I'm going to go for damage, especially in a game like this where I know it's a confirmed win. I'm going to go for damage. So at this point, we're going to make our way into the front line. We got the VK100 and the T44 left. So let's see if we can get some damage out to the VK. Well, one thing I will say about the Emil is that its gun is quite poo, especially on the accuracy. On move, it's not going to be setting any world records on its accuracy. Let's aim in, and there you go. We did get a nice pen into the T44. Again, I am making sure that we are just a little bit on elevated terrain here so that the enemy is not going to be able to penetrate us. We have a bit longer on our reload, and we should be fine. I'm not really worried about this VK penning me or anything like that. 6 more seconds, and then we should be able to get our full clip out. We've assisted 1,500 damage, which is also pretty nice, so let's just drive on over here. I don't really want to shoot this T44. I really want to go for this VK, so that's what we're going to do. There's 1 shell into the VK, and 2 shells into the VK, and at this point, it would be more beneficial to shoot the T44 because he's got more hit points, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, well, just like that, this has been a pretty solid game. Let's just make sure this VK struggles to pen us. We're up to 5,470 damage, I should point out. I mean, do I really need to say anything else about the Emil 1? It's just an insanely strong tank. Like, There are not many tanks in the game that can do this, and yet the Emil 1 just easily does this. Our Borsig is able to get the clear, and just like that, we were able to easily roll out with one of the easiest games I've played in a very long time. In fact, the two easiest games I've played in a very long time. So, 2 victories, 2 4 plus 5,000 damage games, 1,500 assisted. This should be an ace. Yes, it is. And just like that, we pulled out an ace in our second battle. We got 150,000 credits, 3,000 experience, which honestly isn't that much for an ace, but it's still a pretty solid game nonetheless. I mean, look at that. The Emil is just an incredible tank. I'm doing pretty well in the tank statistically, 80% with 3,000 average damage, just about. To be fair, I just fully equipped the tank today, so I got all those stats without even having equipment on it. This is just an incredible tank. For any of you that have not ground down the Kranvang, I would highly suggest to do so. The line itself is very easy and incredibly fun. All you need to do is hide the hull. Sometimes people struggle with that, but I mean, you can see what happens if you understand the playstyle. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.